otherwise you just take a picture. Hi guys, MR.TONY.T. Welcome back to another 5 things about the Porsche Boxster 986. I did the 5 good things that I like about this car, so I thought I'd sort of weigh it up a little bit about the 5 or so bad things about this car. So yeah, diving at the deep end, this is one thing that is pretty well known. Let me just turn the engine off because this is just... Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better, right? Sorry, I've got a little bit of a cold and the throat's a little bit croaky, so apologies. Number 1, so the roof chop. A lot of modern cars now, a lot of people are used to hopping in, pressing the roof down button, and it just flips into the back, no problem whatsoever. This is an old car, so the design was good for its day. Keyword. So what you have to do with this, you have to press the button. Well, sorry, you have to undo this here. I'm not going to do it, but you do. Then you press the button on the dashboard, and then this comes down. But you have to stop halfway through, get out the car, karate chop into the middle of the rear windscreen to make sure it folds directly in the middle. Otherwise it can crumple up and it can cause little marks in the screen, and if it gets really cold that can crack, so you've got to be really careful with that. As long as you karate chop it every single time, no problem whatsoever. I have got footage of this here. Cool. Number 2, it is a manual car. Now, I know before that I did say that a manual car is brilliant. It's what are these people doing? Yeah, that's fine. Just recording a video. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, great. You just yell at the top of your voice because everyone needs to hear you. Right, number 2, it is a manual. So, driving round the country roads, everywhere else, this is a little sports car. You want it manual. It's so much fun, it's so tactile, you feel like you're really driving. However, I live in central London, and driving around the city with a manual does your head in after a while. Just because it's so start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. You're never out of first gear, sometimes you're into second, then you're back into first, then it's brake again. And this hasn't got the lightest clutch either, so your left leg, you do get a solid workout. I think my left quad is about double the size of my right after driving this for a day. So yeah, that's number 2. Number 3 bad thing about the 986 is the technology inside is dated. I mean, this is 2 decades ago. You know, it was 3 years after Windows 95 was released. In fact, Windows 98, of course, when this car was made. So that's the era we're talking about. Not exactly, you know, iPhones or Bluetooth or anything like that. It was just bog standard. Anyway, so the technology isn't great. I have actually updated the head unit in this to a Pioneer touchscreen head unit, which has AirPlay and Apple Play and things like that as well. So that's brought it up perfectly. I don't need any more than that. But your sort of iDrive, you know, BMW systems and things like that you get in modern day cars. All of your touchscreen stuff up here, all of your screens in as your rev dials and counters and things like that. You don't get any of that. This is properly old school, but I don't mind it. I've got that for my music and navigation. What more do you need, really? Number 4, a lot of people have touched on this before. It's a little bit underpowered. So you're looking at 201 brake horsepower. So I'm just getting this right. 201 brake horsepower and around 245 Newton meters of torque. 200 brake horsepower, there or thereabouts, is a fun amount. It's a lot more than, you know, your classic little hatchback and things like that, but you're nowhere near modern day territory. You know, 911s now, even standard, you can get them 350, 400 brake at a starting point. The GT3 RSs, GT2 RSs, I mean, people have been tuning them up to 800-900 brake horsepower. So, you know, this is not in that league. But as I mentioned before, not having all of that power, I think actually gives this car a bit of a benefit. And I know this is a negatives video and reasons not to buy the 986, but to be honest, there aren't any. Just get your cash out, buy one, they're sick. But being able to pin it in corners, being able to use first, second, third, fourth, fifth gear everywhere, redlining everywhere, everywhere, and not really breaking speed limits is good fun. That's really good fun. If you've got a 700-800 brake horsepower car, you can't use all of that horsepower anywhere unless you're on a track, unless you want to lose your license very quickly. So I think as far as fun goes, and a lot of, you know, handleable power that you can the amount of times I just sink my foot flat and I don't have to worry about it, even if it's pouring down with rain, it's fine. So I think that's not a bad thing. And number 5, again, ties in with the roof chop. This is not a solid roof, it's an old canvas roof. There's not much sound dampening in here, so when you are hurtling along the motorway and things like that, it's nice to hear the sports exhaust, but for long journeys it can get a little bit much. If you're used to wafting along in a Mercedes or a Range Rover or something like that, this is going to be a lot noisier. But again, I don't mind it. It's a sports car. It's not meant to be creature comforts. You're meant to sit in it, be a little bit uncomfortable, but at the other end be exhilarated and realise you've come out for a drive. So yeah, that's it really. That's my list. That's all I could come up with. I don't really think they're that bad things. They're definitely not reasons not to buy this car. But yeah, I just thought I'd share with them. The last video got quite a lot of views, so I just thought I'd put this one out as well. Tell me what you think. If you guys have got a similar era Porsche, whether it's a Boxster, 996, 911, the Carreras, Carrera 4S from this era was an awesome car. I know TGTV's just picked one of those up. There's a few things to cover with these. One of them actually, which I didn't say, is the IMS bearing. This is something that I'll probably cover in a separate video because there's there's so much you could cover on it. However, this car hasn't had anything done with the IMS bearing. I've taken it to Porsche and spoken to Porsche specialists and ex-race engineers from Porsche, and all of them said, don't touch it, don't go near it, you don't need to do anything with it. This car's done 72,000 miles now, with no problems whatsoever. The bearing's been checked as well, nothing wrong with it. So don't believe all the hype you hear on the internet. That's it really. Get in the comments, tell me what you think about this video. If you want more Porsche stuff on here, happy to make more. I love driving this car and I love sharing it with you guys. So as always, please like, share, subscribe below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers guys, bye.